Hey, this is AverageJohn coming at you with another video of what I have read this week. Now, this is my notes. You can't see it, but it's there. Now, what have I read this week? Well, first of all, if you're new, welcome. I do 2 videos every week. This one, where I kind of talk about the comics and stuff that I read, comics and graphic novels, and another one where I talk about movies and shows. I try not to rate them or anything, but I do talk about them. And so, you're welcome. Tell your friends, Now, on this video, I'm kind of a little scatterbrained. Just a warning, but on this video I go by a pattern where every week or so, every week I go by 10 comics, and next week I go by a graphic novel. So this week will be a graphic novel. Pretty much it'll be the Fables. I will be taking a little break to the end of the year with when I reach Fables Volume 10. But until then, we're close. We're at Fables Volume 9 right now. Fables Volume 9, Sons of Empire. You're close. It's a recommended read for me. It's definitely about the strategic planning of wars. Definitely opens the world of the Fable Town a bit more and everything. It's good. Yeah. Have you read anything interesting? Interesting to just yourself, even. Anything new, anything interesting to you? Let me know in the comments. Recommend me some stuff. I like a lot of stuff. I don't know what I like. Recommend it to me or whatever. Now, before I get into the story, the spoiler zone, let's talk about the characters, Talk about the characters and a little bit about where the last book was. And I'm just glad this book actually contains all that. We got Beauty, who's the deputy mayor of Fabletown. She's married to Beast, who is the sheriff of Fabletown. Bufkin is a flying monkey assistant in the Woodland building. Bigby Wolf is the ex-sheriff, lives near the farm with his cubs, and Snow White, who is the mother of Bigby's cubs. I'll get to her later. Frau Totenkinder, the Black Forest Witch, Hansel and Gretel. She's up to something. Now the cubs, Darian, Ambrose, Blossom, Winter, Doris, and Connor. Snow White, the ex-deputy of Mayor of Fabletown, up near the farm with Bigby Wolf and raising the cubs. Rose Red is Snow White's twin sister, who also runs the farm. Geppetto is the adversary. He's the real power in the homelands. Pinocchio is Geppetto's Vertigo's son. And the Emperor is the royal figurehead. Muddlecock is the Emperor's clerk with above average detective skills. And Snow Queen, her name is Lomi. She's a wicked sorceress. She's Geppetto's lieutenant and enforcer. Sir Rodney Greenwood, he was a wooden soldier, now a spy for the Empire, flesh and blood, living in Fabletown. Kevin Thorne is a regular Monday human who is also a reporter. Giants of the Cloud Kingdoms have recently allied with Fabletown. Mr. North is Bigby's dad. The Cubs' granddad. Mistral is a minor win, one of Mr. North's many accidents. Now, if you haven't read Fables Volume 9, Sons of Empire, and I would suggest you pause this video, like this video, maybe comment recommending me some stuff, subscribe to my channel, then read the book, read it, then come back after you've read it, come back to this video and play it, because I'm going to spoil the crap out of it right now. And like I said, I'm not going to read it or anything, I'm just going to talk heavily about the story, so you have been warned if you don't want to get spoiled. Five, 4, 3, 2. Alright, so the first part of this story called Something Towards the Prospect of a Final Solution of Fabletown. Sons of Empire, Part 1. And basically, I'm going to stop saying basically, but it's like a Geppetto and Pinocchio are left standing on a field where Geppetto's woodcutter's hut once stood, before it burned down due to Bigby. The magic grove of trees also burned down because of Bigby. The homelands are preparing to interact or to start a war with Fabletown. They have a meeting featuring Snow Queen, Lumi, the Gnome King, Sir Rodney Greenwood, Geppetto, Pinocchio, Whittlecock, and Noble Hansel. During their talk, in Fabletown, Red Riding Hood wants a haircut, so she gets one and shows off the flycatcher. The flycatcher is mysteriously ill and turns into a frog. I think because he was attracted to Rose Red. It's like attracted, it's kind of like his boner thing, you know? It's weird to say, but when he like gets erect or something, he turns into a frog. He can't help himself. That's my explanation. But there's also these short stories that are supposed to bring out more Fabletown characters. And these short stories at the end of each book. So this one's called Hair. It's a short Fabletown story. It's a story about Rapunzel and her constant hair growth. She gets it cut 3 times a day. Actually, is the most restricted Fable who can interact with the Mondays. That's it. Told you it was short. Told you. And now we get the 4 plagues. It's part 2 of Sons of Empire. The plan for the war, or the Emperor side of the war, is to secretly send warlocks to Earth, eventually releasing diseases, plagues, sickness, Red City Plague, and Scald Brownpox. No plagues of sickness, that's the first plague. The second plague is the plague of fire, where dragons are sent to fire up 30 major cities a day, and fire imps are sent to burn down 10,000 a day. That's the second one. Plague of sickness and plague of fire. And the next plague is the plague of winter, where the Snow Queen will personally assist and help freeze the world, with help for snow giants, boreal servitors, and frostlings. Plague of sickness, plague of fire, plague of winter. The last plague is the plague of the fathom. Starve them out and let them live out their lives. Earth is meant to be prison / punishment, torture. So anyway, they got the 4 plagues. Plague of sickness, plague of fire, plague of winter, and plague of famine. Excuse me. And that's something I'm also wondering too, side note. I make a lot of noises I'm trying to use the microphone with a muffler, and I'm wondering if it's actually working. Let me know that in the comments too. Anyway, side note over. That's No Queen's plan anyway. Pinocchio and Rodney don't like it. No King and Bright Day is a knight's head, pretty much. Love it. Sparrow likes it, but says it could use some improvement. What about Hansel? Well, he ain't there. He would have posed. Instead, he's appointed a spy, hired by the adversary to negotiate peace treaty between homelands and Fable Town. Really there to set Baba Yaga and the woodland soldiers free. And we dive into this other short story called Porcupine Pie. Unfortunately, a witch casts a spell on this porcupine, Mr. Porcupine, which makes him only attracted to human girls. He gets him to kiss him by promising that will turn him into a prince. Of course, he never does. The girls run away from him. He ain't upset though. He tricks one to kissing him, then he eats some pie with the gingerbread man. Short and sweet. Alright, next we get to The Burning Times, Sons of Empire Part 3. So the Fable Town of Fables find out about Ambassador Hansel pretty quickly. Even after all this time, he's still not to be trusted. He was the first Fable Town to be He was the first Fable to be kicked out of Fable Town. Prince Charming sends Beast and some spies to spy on Hansel and his spies. Meanwhile, Hansel's found a place to rent. It's not far from Fable Town. It's with a reporter called Kevin Thorne. Down all his luck, he's a nice guy who helps his friend rent out the place. Beast finds Frau Totenkinder, the Black Forest Witch from the Hansel and Gretel tales, and she tells the story. The story from her perspective and stuff like that. So Hansel and Gretel were kids. They were roaming on the forest and they eventually started to get hungry. They came upon a house that was covered in sweets. They started munching on them, and then they noticed that someone is living there. The witch doesn't mind though. She loves the company. She just wants the kids to grow big and to help her cook. Mainly so, they can get into her oven and she can make a fantastic stew. But then they start to realize, hey, maybe the witch wants to eat us. So they escape, burn the witch down and their house down. They were both loners, no parents, because maybe their parents perhaps wanted them to die in the forest. So Hansel and Gretel traveled the world for a bit, and eventually found out about this place called Serenity, because the Empire started to take over Fable, the homeworlds at the time. So they sailed to Serenity, and Hansel and Gretel find out that Frau Totenkinder lives there, but they can't do anything like kill her or anything, because what she did was pre-amnesty, or pre-gathering in homelands, or gathering in Fable Town, pretty much. All crimes done before then are clean, pretty much. So they can't do anything. Now Gretel is okay with this, Gretel can see the fire tongue there is trying to be a different person. She's in fact teaching her magic. But Hansel is not okay with this, so he lets Gretel stay there. And he goes off. He travels the world, pretty much, being a witch executioner. You go on to all places in Europe, then to America for the Salem witch trials, and then to Fabletown. He visits Gretel and tries to convince her again to leave. Of course, she doesn't. Eventually, he kills her, and that's how he gets kicked out. And Ichabod Crane is the leader of the time of Fabletown, the mayor of Fabletown at the time, actually lets him go for no reason. And here's another really short story. It's called A Thorn in the Side, where here we meet Kevin Thorne, the guy who helps his friend went to her house in exchange for living there rent-free. Very suspicious of people on Beaufort Street. In fact, observing them, studying them, they're a curiosity to him. No one else notices them but him. He observes them safely. He doesn't want to end up like the other reporter, Tommy Sharp, all the way from like the second and third books. And the one short and sweet. So, now we have part 4 of Sons of Empire. It's called Over There. We got Pinocchio who disagrees with the Snow Queen, pointing out how Fabletown will destroy them. First up, we're talking about the first plague, which is the disease. That's involving everyone, not just Fables, the whole world. The World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control. They'll be on the way to finding out new cures, and the armies will be looking for someone to fight. Bigby will show all the armies the way to the Cow Kingdom, to the beanstalk that they've grown. And they just climb up the beanstalk. Fables grew, that's what I said. All the armies then attack. They drop down where Bigby dropped down in the last issue. They dropped down and they start attacking the Empire. And just using that and other advanced technology, they'll eventually win. And there's so many more planets to conquer there, and the Cloud Kingdom reaches them all. So that will actually bring about world peace, because there's so much land that there's no land to fight over. They eventually decide not to go with the plan, but Geppetto wants the Snow Queen to revise it. He still wants a war in 3 years. And then we get to another short story, The Road to Paradise. About the 3 blind mice, Leland, Thaddeus, and Prescott, who are blindly fumbling around the farm trying to find a small town where they believe that 16 virgins will be awaiting them. Instead, they accidentally think the boy Blue's trumpet is the opening gates and get blown out when Blue starts to play again. The end. Now, there are some short stories that continue with this. There's like Jiminy Christmas. Flycatcher turns back into a human. Nobody reveals he wants to go to Homeland's family. There's Father and Son, part 1 and 2, where Bigby will protect the family with the help of Mr. North. And short stories, burning questions such as, did a king ever manage to find a regular job? How does Bufkin keep getting his hands on liquor? What is training like for the mouse police? Did Jack leave anyone messages before he left Fabletown forever? How are the new three little pigs adjusting to being pigs? Besides Fly, who else has used the magic mirror? What is Boy Blue's favorite song? What song was playing when Snow and Bigby first danced together at the Remembrance Day ball? What is Shroud Totenkin knitting? Who was Prince Charming's first love? How many romantic conquests has Prince Charming had, and who cut the bouquet at Snow White's wedding? And they're all short, fun, and cute comics. So, maybe one day I'll talk about them. Probably more at Christmas time, because the Christmas story I think is the biggest one. But I love the short comics, especially the question ones. They're questions by regular people like you or me. They're all sent in. So that's kind of fun. I respect that. What kind of questions would you guys have? I mean, I would like the question of like where Bigby necessarily went when he was originally kicked out. You know, like where he traveled and stuff. Like not where he was at when he was found, but in between all that. I think that'd be a pretty cool side story or something like that. So, have you read the book? What do you think of it? And were any of your questions asked? Comment your answers down below. Or you can reach me on any of my socials. Reach me at Instagram at TRIPL3XXX Mayhem, Twitter at Real AverageJohn, Facebook at Official AverageJohn. Like I always say, don't worry if you can't understand me. Everything is down in the description down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my videos, my channel, everything. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which I will be posting on Monday. So Monday is today. Alright, see y'all later.